Okay, so today we're going to do number 11, Cybersecurity for Beginners, How to Study. It's personal, part 11, and we're going to go over the types of hackers. And remember, we're studying this topic to protect against hackers. We want to become a cybersecurity professional and learn how to make computer systems more secure to protect against hackers. So in general terms, there's good guys and gals versus bad guys and gals. You'll often hear of white hat and black hat. White hats are the good hackers. They find holes in a computer system so they can be made safe. Black hat are the bad guys. They find holes in a computer system so they can hack it. Usually they're just going after known holes and maybe new holes that were just discovered. Known holes should be patched through updates to software, operating systems, and apps. Usually what happens is a hole in the software where hackers can get in, and then before a company has time to fix that hole with a patch to the operating system, hackers can get in. In general, companies do not advertise what operating systems they are using because that's half the battle. If a hacker is trying to break into a system, the first thing they have to know is, well, what is the company using? Windows, Linux, or what? So we can be more specific with that white hat and black hat. Okay, so I did a search on ChatGPT, types of hackers. So white hat, black hat, gray hat, script kiddies, hacktivist, state-sponsored hackers, insider threats, elite advanced persistent threats. That's a little different from what it gave me the first time. The first time it gave me black hat, white hat, gray hat, script kiddies, activist, state-sponsored, insider threats, and automated AI-driven attackers. This time it gave me this one here, elite advanced persistent threats. Long-term stealthy attacks, often state-sponsored or well-funded. So that's kind of the same as this one, state-sponsored. So basically, black hat are the bad guys, the criminals. White hat are the good guys. They're studying a company system, seeing where the holes are so they can fix them. Gray hat, that's kind of an in-between. Gray hat hackers hack without permission, but not always for profit. May report vulnerabilities after exploiting them. Still illegal, even if intentions aren't malicious. So since we're here, let's run through these. White hat hackers are ethical hackers. You'll see books written on ethical hacking. I wouldn't really call it hacking. I would say they're studying a system to make sure it's secure. Being a good administrator. System administrators are swamped, so they have whole departments. They may have multiple people in that department checking the system. Lots of times, though, it's one person. It's the whole computer department. He's doing everything. Operating systems, apps, software updates, printers. So they hack legally and with permission. The company says, go ahead, check out the system. Make sure it's secure. They find the vulnerabilities to help organizations fix them. Work as penetration testers. That penetration testing, that's very common. Very common phrase in cybersecurity. Security engineers, red teamers, follow laws and contracts. Example, company hires a pen tester to test their network. Black hat hackers are the criminals. Hack without permission, steal data, money, identities, spread malware, ransomware, spyware, breaks laws intentionally. Example, ransomware groups, credit card thieves, script kiddies, low-skill attackers, use pre-made tools and scripts, little understanding of how attacks work, often cause damage accidentally. An example would be downloading a DDoS tool and attacking a game server. Hacktivists, political or social hackers, hack to promote an ideology or cause, target governments, corporations, the media. Common tactics, website defacement, data leaks, DDoS, groups like Anonymous. In the early days of the web, like late 1990s, early 2000, there was a lot of DDoS attacks, denial of service, and hackers would flood a website with a lot of requests. They'd have thousands of website requests going to the same place, and the web server couldn't keep up, and it would just shut down because it couldn't keep up with all the requests to look at the page. And that was actually pretty common on some pretty big sites. This Anonymous, that's a common hacker group. Let's see, I wrote something on him here. He's pretty popular. He's been around a while. I got a question for ChatGPT. Is the anonymous hacker still around? So we'll go to ChatGPT. So it says, yes, in some form, Anonymous or people using the name and symbol of Anonymous are still active in 2026, but it's very different from what people first heard about in the 2000s and 2010s. So what Anonymous actually is. Not an organization. Anonymous has no official leadership, membership list, headquarters, or formal structures. It's a decentralized label that anyone can adopt to claim an action. Is it active today? Yes, people still operate under the Anonymous banner. In 2025, a group claiming to be anonymous reported hacked an airline system to leak flight records tied to U.S. government deportation flights. See, they're called hacktivists because they're activists, and they're usually fighting for a cause. The state-sponsored, state meaning a country. State meaning a country. I've seen pictures on the web of a room full of hackers sitting at their desktops. Insider threats, that means the employees. The employee is actually hacking their own company. People get fired and they'll go ahead and do something bad to the computer system before they leave, or they leave a hole in the system, and then automated AI-driven attackers. Things are automatic now, so they can run things really fast, and it makes it easier to break into a system. There's also this notion of blue team hackers and red team hackers. I'm just bringing up items that you may bump into the terms as you study this stuff. So red team is the offensive. They simulate attacks to find weaknesses in an organization. Think of them as ethical hackers testing your security. Blue team is defensive. Protect the organization system, detect attacks, and respond to incidents. Okay, so both of them work for the company. But there's people in the department trying to break in, and there's people in the department trying to fix everything so they can't break in. So it's called red team and blue team. So the company is testing the computer system. The operating systems, the network system, the apps, all these different things can be hacked. That's called penetration testing. Okay, so penetration testing, that's a common department inside of a cybersecurity department. Something else you might want to check out is there's hacker magazines. This 2600, you used to be able to get that at the big bookstores. It's pretty expensive. It's not cheap, you know. I think it was like $7 or $10 or something like that, and it's a small magazine. What you can do is check these magazines out and see if they have free subscriptions. What they do is they give out these subscriptions for free because they want to build their subscriber list. And then when they sell their advertisements to companies, they can say, hey, we have 5 million subscribers. You should run ads in our magazine. So that's why they give them out for free. Magazines are good because they're current. You know, they usually come out every month or every other month. You know, some might only come out twice a year. But a book, you know, it takes them all year or a couple years to put together a book. By the time a book comes out, it's old information. We're an online magazine. Hey, it's current right now. You know, this is what's happening this week or this month. You know. Okay. Here's something I just bumped into. I'm older now. I don't follow new stuff. You know, I try to follow it some, but here's a slang. TLDR. I think I saw it in a video or something like that a week or two ago. And I said, what's that? I thought it was a company or something. And I looked it up. It said, too long, didn't read. Yeah. So I think that's probably pretty common in the cybersecurity business. What you can do is check out websites that say urban slang. There's a lot of them. If you bump into a phrase you don't know, you can research it there. It doesn't matter how old you are, try to stay current. I remember years ago, probably back in the 90s, I remember hearing about some real old stock market guy watching MTV in his office, And here I am. It dawned on me last week, I'm doing that now. So I feel the same as I did back then. We'll stop there. Next time we'll do number 12. Okay, see ya. Bye.